Want to take a look at this racetrack? 94 laps, 250 miles. The pit window anywhere from 50 to 55 laps.
Which means that they could make this race on one pit stop if the cautions were to fall right. Some of the guys are talking about making one. Some of the other guys are talking about no way, we're going to try to make it on one. We don't want to get caught in case they have a long green flag run.
Right.
And have to stop under green for fuel.
Guys like Ricky Stenhouse Jr., guys like Scott Speed, they don't want to chance it.
I only see that one stop going if it ran green up until that time.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
Well, traditionally, we would think it's not going to happen.
Tradition. That might be the word of the day here at Talladega Superspeedway. We'll see how it works out. James Buescher again will bring the field to the green flag. Now this is a little bit of an unconventional racetrack in the fact that the start-finish line is past the tri-oval. It's actually between the middle of the tri-oval and turn number 1. You see all the fans on their feet waving to the cars as they get ready to take on this Superspeedway, Talladega Superspeedway. And the green flag is in the air.
Been a lot of people think they had races won in the middle of the front straightaway and wound up didn't.
Oh, something happened to James Buescher on the very start, our post hitter.
James Buescher goes down below the yellow line. He lets the field by him. Obviously an issue with that race car. And that will put Tom Hessert III out in front of the line on the bottom of the racetrack.
He's obviously still running, Kenny. Not quite up to speed yet, though.
Would almost make you think second gear wasn't there or something. Well, it might be more than that, Phil. But it's getting better, it looks like.
2, 3, and 4 wide back behind this front string of cars.
Tom Hessert, meanwhile, has inherited the lead, and what a great qualifying effort he had on the outside of the front row. There's some of that speedy drive, Kenny, you were talking about from that multi-car incident in Sprint Cup practice.
Well, and a good job by the 32 car James there getting out of the way, knowing he had a problem. That boy, if one car has a problem, that's the car you don't want to have a problem.
The nice thing about this racetrack is we saw him down below the yellow line on the apron. You can maintain a pretty good speed down there because that bottom lane of that racetrack below the yellow line is banked pretty well.
Got some bank to it.
Brian Silas with a pretty good view of the field in front of him, currently running 35th or 31st.
Yeah, that's Frank Kimmel right in front of him, our 9-time champion. Jeremy Clements, the 3 car, was outside of Frank. There goes Jeremy on the outside. He always runs well when he runs these ARCA RE races. Doesn't run a full schedule, but when he comes to run, he runs well.
Now out in front of the field, it is Tom Hessert III. James Buescher dropped all the way back to 19th when he went across the start-finish line. Ray Dunlap, what are we hearing from our former champion?
Well, Frank Kimmel told me before the race started, Rick, that he is going to have to be right in the middle of a draft. He said there's no way that his car is good enough to lead, and if no one's up tight behind him, he's not going to be very good either. So he's hoping he can stay right in the middle of a pack. They just have not been able to get their arms around what's wrong with that 44 car, and they're not exactly sure what to do about it during the race either. He said pretty much when you come to Talladega, you've got what you've got, but he's hoping to be able in the middle of a mix. Down to Jim Trado.
And Ray, James Buescher did not want to be in the middle. He wanted to be leading this race, but coming to the green, he lost second gear. Didn't say a whole lot until he was into turn 3. They said, what do you have? He said, guys, we lost second gear.
Yeah, that's exactly what you speculated, Kenny, and that will continue to plague him for the rest of this race.
That's going to be a problem he has every restart. And coming out of the pits.
Yeah, coming out of the pits, and if he has a green flag pit stop, that is really going to hurt him.
Yeah.
See Joey Logano dip below that yellow line, and the rule is you cannot advance your position below the yellow line. You can dip down there as long as you don't advance your position. We're hearing that Brian Silas, you see him right now coming towards pit road, hearing he has a flat tire. You can actually hear it. See the smoke from the left side of that car. Left rear tire is flat on that number 11 Nortrex Ford.
That's flat enough that we could. He's going to be any debris now would be on pit road.
Here's that 3 wide stuff we were looking for, Kenny.
Oh yeah, we're going to have it, and we're going to have it all day.
Patrick Shelter, the 60 car, ran in the back of Eddie Mercer for a second. The Miccosukee Chevrolet and made a little contact and got Eddie a little bit squirrely.
And this is the big variable. I think you've got guys running 2 and 3 wide in this in this draft that have never been in a situation like this where there's 43 cars running together in a pack.
And Kenny, there's nothing like it, is there?
Oh my gosh. You know, I've had a lot of people ask me about somebody going there for the first time, and they say, is he ready? And I said, heck no, he's not ready. But I don't care what you run. You're not ready when you come here the first time, because you're going to experience something that you haven't been around anywhere.
And some of the guys that are here more than one time, Kenny, they're not ready either.
No. No.
And so Tom Hessert III has continued to lead ever since James Buescher fell off the pace when he didn't have second gear. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Scott Speed running 2 and 3, and that has been what Scott Speed wants to do. He wants to see that 99 at all times. Welcome back, nose to tail, upwards of 190 miles an hour around Talladega Superspeedway. Tom Hessert III out in front. Ricky Stenhouse now makes the move, and he'll pull some people with him.
That's actually the 11 of Brian Silas. Remember, he had that flat tire, came out of the pits. The top 14 cars right now running single file, and then business picks up there right behind them.
I like being in the single file part, not where that business picks up part.
Eddie Mercer now has left that group and trying to chase down that lead pack of 14 cars. But here's where it gets interesting back here, 2 and 3 wide. See Patrick Shelter, the 60 car right in the middle right there.
This racetrack looks huge. I mean, we've got them 3 wide, and there's gaps in between the 3 wide.
Oh yeah, 5 wide. You know, you can be in a 5 wide situation here easy enough. Hopefully you get out of it easy enough. But yeah, there's a lot of room for error here. But once you get turned around here, you need a lot of room.
See Bobby Gerhart losing the tail end of that lead draft. He may eventually bring that second pack up to that lead pack.
Guys like Brian Scott, Joey Logano right in the middle of this lead pack, running 8th and 9th. Landon Castle, another one of those young drivers, up there in 7th. Ricky Carmichael, we talked about him earlier. He's running 4th right now.
He got in line and has stayed right there, protected the bottom, and done a very good job.
Wendy, what's the word on that 11?
Yeah, Brian Silas has a pretty long day ahead of him. He started 35th. Now, he is one of our ARCA regulars, but it looks like he has run over a piece of debris. By the way, the damage is on this left rear tire. This bead goes all the way around. You can see he must have run over something, but extreme damage on that car. They were able to get the tires changed, get back out there, and we'll continue on this race, but we'll watch Brian Silas. But in the meantime, we got a lot of racing going on up front.
Yeah, they're starting to spread out a bit now.
Yeah, that's Landon Castle on the outside. Looks like he has Joey Logano with him.
They look to be falling back now as those 2 cars have jumped out of line.
Everybody hugging that yellow line, but what a great job that Tom Hessert III is doing. This is the Andy Belmont Ford right here. Andy had a great run last year with Dominic Casola. I think he finished in the top 5. It was Dominic's best finish of the season. They brought a great car back here.
Well, that team has a lot of great cars.